This is the old house where you and your family still live during the Chinese New Year. The entire family is packed together, making it very crowded and uncomfortable. So in the second year, you build two additional rooms. One is called the East Room and the other the West Room. The center becomes the main hall. On each side, you add another room to serve as a study and a tea room. Beside the main living areas, you build smaller auxiliary rooms to be used as a kitchen and a restroom. With this arrangement, the family is no longer crowded. Everyone can comfortably enjoy the new year. However, visiting guests still have nowhere to stay. So you build a row of guest rooms in front of the house. The main entrance is moved to the southeast corner. By doing this, you create the first version of a courtyard residence. But the more you look at it, the more you feel the house appears too plain and outdated. So in the third year, you tear the entire structure down and rebuild it from scratch. You also add a dividing wall in the center with a decorative moon gate built into it. This creates two separate courtyards, an inner courtyard and an outer courtyard. The layout becomes a two-courtyard, four-sided residence. As your family's population continues to grow, you build another row of rooms at the rear of the property. From that point on, the inner residence is divided into a front courtyard and a rear courtyard, connected by passageways. You successfully create a larger three-courtyard, four-sided compound. Even then, there is still no proper place for recreation, sightseeing, or entertainment. Therefore, in the fourth year, you carefully construct a beautiful garden behind the residence. This marks the transformation of your home into a grand family estate with multiple courtyards and a private garden. But this is still far from the limit of your ambitions. Over the next 3 years, you continue expanding the property into 5-courtyard, 6-courtyard, and even 7-courtyard compounds. However, the layout becomes excessively long. People living in the rear sections find it inconvenient to leave the property, while those in the front sections have difficulty reaching the garden. To solve this problem, after completing the 5-courtyard layout, you relocate the garden to one side of the estate. This allows residents from any courtyard to reach the garden quickly and conveniently. At this point, the size of your residence rivals the estates that only the highest-ranking nobles in ancient times could enjoy. In the 8th year, you expand the garden even further. At the center of the estate, you construct an even more magnificent 5-courtyard, 4-sided residence. The roofs are covered with green glazed tiles, symbolizing prestige, status, promotion, and prosperity. Eventually, all of the buildings combine to form an enormous residential complex made up of multiple courtyards and interconnected compounds. In ancient China, a residence of this scale was considered suitable only for members of the royal family. Only princes and other high-ranking royals were qualified to live in such a place. But you are not satisfied with stopping there. Because you value symmetry, you move the garden to one side and reserve the open central space for a new 4-sided courtyard. This creates a standard arrangement consisting of a main courtyard, an east side courtyard, and a west side courtyard. You then relocate